Mother's Day is right around the corner, and if you're still thinking about what to get Dad, our friends from Bull Moose, Chris Brown and Mick Workhoven, are here to share some new releases that would also work as the perfect gift for music lovers. And I know that when I think about my dad and stepdad, they're 60s kids, so 70s and 80s music is what they're into. But these new releases, it's for them, I guess, but also this new generation of parents.
Yeah, so the conceit here is we were watching the piece about the kids who made their own record store day last week, and the name drops in that piece, like Glory Hammer and Infected Mushroom, got me thinking, you know what, like what is classically considered dad rock actually needs to get moved up like 10 or 20 years as Gen X and millennials are entering their dad rock era. So that's where we're coming at here. This is 90s dads and moms, awesome. But you know, Father's Day is coming up.
I love it. All right, so first on the list is Rancid.
Right, so their new album that just came out last week is kind of classic. Yeah. Rancid is just good feeling punk rock. They're maybe a little less snotty because they're older, and more self-assured, but it's most of the original band. They got a great new drummer about 15 years ago who just propels this. It's just a super fun album, you know, make you maybe bring back some memories that mom wouldn't want dad to share, perhaps. But you're unique, like no other. Conduct your way to love one another. It's really good.
I do think about punk rock dads when I think about the 90s, so that is perfect.
Yeah.
And then we also have something from the Foo Fighters, which is great.
Yeah, so this is their first album since the sudden and tragic passing of Taylor Hawkins, and the whole album is really centered around their experience with that event, but also grief more broadly. And what's interesting is, like, the Foo Fighters are not they're not writing ballads. They're not sort of like dwelling on the sadness. They're giving it the respect it deserves, but the overall thesis is more like, we're still here. You know, bad things happen and that sucks, so we really got to take care of each other while we're still around. Yeah. It's kind of like they took the song My Hero, the song that Dave wrote about Kurt, and turned it into a whole album. It's really good.
It's really cool to see how bands move forward too after tragedy. All right, one of my favorites on here, Ben Folds.
Well, his new album, which maybe this could be his last studio album, kind of seems like he's sort of winding down, but he's always been sensitive and thoughtful, but also like really sarcastic. Yeah. So all that stuff is still here. It's just that he's showing like his middle-aged side. So if you think of like the first big Ben Folds 5 album started with a song about how he's being bullied and someday he's gonna be big and important, right? And you know, and then he's out of there. But that's all there is to it. Like on this album, there's a song to Christine from 7th grade, where he's talking about, it's like some of it's just, hey, you know, people age as we grow, but she's turned into like one of those like all caps alt-right people writing daily emails and all this stuff, and he's like, but he also brings this, well, don't you, okay, I get it, but don't you see that there's like beauty in the world? You used to laugh, and now there's an emotion, it's really complex emotionally. There are plenty of other examples on this album of where in the past, he just sort of describe a situation and you could chuckle at it, and now he said, well, what does that mean? Or have like weird kind of overdone metaphors, maybe. Then he's trying too hard, I don't know. But I mean, it's actually it's a good listen. It's a good album to kind of sink down into, although it's kind of sad in a lot of places. I could not see the haze back in the day when we lived inside of it. Now I'm floating away and haunting the halls.
Well, his lyrics, they always make you think. They always seem to mean more than you think.
Yep.
All right, and we're gonna wrap it up with, okay, this is kind of for the boomers as we call them, but Black Sabbath.
Yeah, okay, so we have all of these you know, 90s bands entering their middle age and becoming contemplative and slowing down and being like, what do I think about stuff? And now we've got Black Sabbath. So Black Sabbath, this is the 40th anniversary of their first live album, Live Evil, or Live Evil, whichever you prefer. And this is a really interesting inflection point for the band because so Ozzy is gone from the band at this point, and Dio is the new frontman, and they've released 2 albums, Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell is huge. And so they want to capitalize on that success. And concurrent to that, Ozzy has started his solo career, and he's putting out his own greatest hits album, and it's all Ozzy tunes, or it's all Black Sabbath tunes, right?
Wow.
And Tony Iommi, the guitarist, is like, bro. So he says to Dio, we got to record Ozzy's songs with your vocals because you're a better singer. So they record this live album, and it's awesome. And there's a mix of the Dio tunes and new interpretations of the Ozzy tunes, and it's going to introduce tons of new people to Dio as the front man. And then while they're mastering it, Dio and the drummer Vinny Appice leave the band and start Dio. So it's a double inflection point for Black Sabbath, and it's really fun. So that's your Black Sabbath history lesson.
I love it. Perfect.
And if you're a guitar player, learn how to sing.
Yeah, if you're right, exactly.
Good point. Good
And
point.
as a send off there, Dio is better than Ozzy. That's my hot take.
There you have it. There you have it. The more you know. Thanks so much to both of you for coming in. If you want to read more about these new releases, just head to the 207 section of our website or our app. And don't go anywhere. We've got more 207 for you right after this.